This is where a lot of business owners get stuck. They post their skills online, which is like the things that you know how to do. A really good example of this is I had a client come to me and he was a fitness trainer and he had a really great Instagram following, like 50K, lots of likes and all this kind of stuff, but no customers. And that's because every day he's posting the latest workout video. And that's like all his feed was. So they didn't know anything else about him. They didn't know his vibe. They didn't know his expertise. They didn't know his method. And so while it can grow an account, it doesn't cover all the bases.
Welcome to today's episode of Influence by Design. I'm really looking forward to this conversation today with Lindsey Anderson. We're going to talk about her Unlaunch Method and all sorts of other weird and wonderful things, like what it's like to be on a reality TV show, what it's like on social media after being on a reality TV show. So, Lindsey, welcome to the show.
Samantha, so excited to be here. Thanks for having me on the show today.
I'm looking forward to this. Now, you were on a show called The Trust. Before I even ask about how you even got onto that, what is The Trust about? I need to know.
Yeah, it's a show that was on Netflix. It's a reality show. They brought together 13 strangers from all walks of life. We were all extremely different people. And they were like, here's $250,000. We're going to have a voting ceremony. You can vote people off so you get a bigger cut, or you guys can all work together and get to the end and share the money. So that was the premise of the show.
I'm going to guess, and I haven't seen it, that it was pretty cutthroat.
It could be, yeah. I mean, because basically, like, if someone was annoyed or mad at you, you have to basically cast a vote to be like, I got to cast my insurance vote. So then that caused like a lot of turmoil and, you know, people there for team versus people there on their own accord. And yeah, it got messy. It got real messy. But I can give a spoiler alert about how I did. Are you okay with the spoiler alert, Samantha? So
I'm fine with the spoiler alert.
Okay, I made 7 out of 8 episodes. So it was an 8-episode series. I made 7 out of 8 episodes, and the last 2 episodes were named after me. So make sure you go watch it.
Ah, there we go. There's a hook right there. Great marketing. What even made you decide to apply to be on a reality TV show? What was the catalyst for that?
Yeah, in terms of, we're going to be talking about social media today. I did not apply. In fact, I was on social media and a scout reached out and said, Lindsey, we love your content. I have a show that would be perfect for you. Would you consider applying? And so it really, double underlines the whole, you don't know who's watching. And there's a lot of opportunity to be had there on social. So I'm a big lover of reality TV. I watch a lot of Big Brother. I was like, my business is in a place where I could take off for 3 weeks. And so for me, I was like, I'm all in, ready for a new life experience. And it was just that.
I love that. And I love that entrepreneurs are quite happy. I don't know that happy was the right word, but we're okay with pushing the boundaries and being, comfortable being uncomfortable. And I'm guessing that did all of that and more. What came up for you around social media sort of during and after the show and how that kind of applies to business? Like what lessons came up for you or did you take away?
Yeah, great question. So first of all, I'll say this. Nothing is more terrifying, okay, than waking up every morning and seeing Reddit threads with your name in it. Okay. Like that is terrifying. And so I found that on the show, and I think they say most people are like this, like in an election, it's a landslide if 52% of people vote for you. So some people really, really liked me and some people really, really hated me. Sounds great. But in terms of social media, I had been posting like a business owner for the last 20 years. It was pretty friendly out there for the last 20 years. And then all of a sudden you're on this big stage and it's not quite so friendly anymore. And so, that took some getting used to. And my team and I, there was a lot of discussions about how are we going to handle it? If you delete it, then you're kind of like silencing people. People read the comments, like, what is the best way to really handle it? And I came to the place of you talk to them like they are a real person in front of you. So you say, I understand why you would say that. Yes, I did make that mistake. Or, hey, yeah, this is kind of my view on it. Or why would you say that to me if we were standing in the grocery line together? Like, I don't even understand this. Now, obviously I deleted some of the more hate-filled comments, but overall, chatting with the cast members, that's that's what's going to happen to you there on social media. So,
Totally.
you learn that people 100% read the comments. So I made sure that some of those most popular comments were addressed in the comments. And then anybody else who flooded in and wanted to pile on, I like kind of deleted, or, same with like the good comments and stuff like that. So you made the comment experience good for people as well, because definitely people read the comments. But there was one more lesson that I took away from that entire experience. And that was, I was on this show with several people who had social media followings that dwarfed my social media following by 4, 5, 6 times, because they were real influencers. They were out there on TikTok and Instagram. And as we got in the house and talking, you come to find out that, they were unable to really monetize that in any kind of real way. And even though I, who has been posting like a business owner for all of these years, I was able to monetize my following. So it really speaks to the fact that there is a difference between influencer and business building content. The goals are totally different. And, that should be a sigh of relief for business owners, because you don't have to be sharing all that personal stuff online to make business happen. In fact, I would argue most of the personal stuff you put online ruin your positioning and your authority anyway.
Ooh, interesting point. What is the main difference between the way an influencer posts and the way a business owner posts? Like, obviously, we're talking to business owners, entrepreneurs. What do they need to keep in mind?
Yeah. So first of all, the main difference is that influencers, they're out there for the eyeballs and those kind of things. And so most of their content is about them. And here's my fabulous life and me, where when you're showing up as a business owner, you need to be showing up for your audience and in service of your audience. That's a huge difference. And I really boil it down to 4 things when you're a business owner posting online. So I tell people to post their VEMs online. That prevents them from being an influencer. And that is V for vibe. So you do want to put like some personal things online, but like as far as your divorce goes, like you don't need to be sharing that. Yeah, it'll get a ton of likes and stuff like that, but it does ruin your positioning. So in terms of vibe, I recommend people find 3 things that they're posting vibe wise. So for me, I'm a mother of 3. I'm really into health and fitness, and I'm from Portland, Oregon, the most beautiful state in the United States, for those that don't know. Okay. So I keep it to that. It makes me personal. People feel like they have a personal connection. So V for vibe, E for experience, those customer stories, telling customer stories, sharing testimonials. If people can see themselves in your client stories, they will be more likely to work with you. M is for methodology. What is your plan for helping me, business owner? How do I get from point A to point B? Do you have a plan, or am I just kind of trusting that you know where to go? So if you can come up with a methodology and reference that online, people know you have a plan. And then finally, so that's M, and then S is skills. This is where a lot of business owners get stuck. They post their skills online, but which is like the things that you know how to do. A really good example of this is I had a client come to me and he was a fitness trainer and he had a really great Instagram following, like 50K, lots of likes and all this kind of stuff, but no customers. And that's because every day he's posting the latest workout video. And that's like all his feed was. So they didn't know anything else about him. They didn't know his vibe. They didn't know his expertise. They didn't know his method. And so while it can grow an account, it doesn't cover all the bases.
Love this. The biggest takeaway that I'm getting from that, if I was going to wrap it up into one little bow or one little gift, is that it's not about you. It's about your audience. It's about helping 100%. Them, where an influencer is like inward. As business owners, we've got to be like, well, this is how I can help you.
I like the way you worded that. Amen. Yeah.
Love that. So you've got a method called the Unlaunch Method. Now, what I love about this is that just the word launch puts the fear of God into just about any coach out there on the planet. There are very few coaches that go, I love to launch. Most people are like, give me anything except a launch. So the Unlaunch Method, it gives me a really great vibe. Can you give us a little rundown before we go into sort of deep into it, kind of what it is? What is the Unlaunch Method?
Yeah. So, I agree with launching. Launching is very taxing and very you're basically betting everything on this huge thing and you're hoping that you get a bunch of sales. And it was the real reason why I created the Unlaunch Method, because that strategy, while effective, just has so many drawbacks, for wherever you are in your entrepreneurial journey. So the Unlaunch Method is simply my way of generating a high quality social media audience. So displaying your VEMs, which we just talked about, bringing that social media audience into a recurring, what I call invite only event. And this is a rinse and repeat webinar that you give every single week or every other week. You know it like the back of your hand. You know that your audience resonates with this, and you do it on a schedule. Like you know that this thing is coming up, and so then you get people off of social media to your invite only events, and then a prescriptive sales call. So then you invite them from the invite only event to get on a sales call with you to see if they're even a good fit for what you're offering. So you can actually talk to your customers, so you can actually hear from them. And then the most important part of this whole thing is the analyze and iterate portion. So you can, if you implement the Unlaunch Method, you can literally see, when I say this on social media, these are the people I get on my sales call. I need to tweak this on social media. Then they come to my IO event and I get higher quality people on my sales call. So it really offers an iterative approach to both your social media content and your conversion piece on rinse and repeat. And you're getting better and better every single time you do it.
Oh my goodness. I love this so much. I feel like I'm the only person that's been talking like this. So this actually makes me really excited. I was just giving a workshop yesterday, and one of the questions was like, it's really great that you're talking about, getting your perfect clients, hanging out in the right place, but I can't find them. I don't know where they are. And what you're just talking about there helps you to find them, because it is just this whole rinse and repeat. And I think that I know marketers have killed it. They're like, you do this one webinar and it's going to be perfect and you're going to have millions of people show up and you're going to make millions of dollars in sales. But it's not like that in reality. You need to do it over and over and over, because you will tweak. You will realize, I've had that question on the last 2 webinars. I need to change that up. Or I haven't quite got the right people, so I need to change this up. It is an iterative process, and I really love that you've mentioned that and brought that up, because for anyone that's listening that thinks that they're just looking for that one thing, it's not. It's just about the action. It's about doing and then using the data.
I love it. Yes, Samantha. So you just track everything, and then you know what to kind of tweak. Because I think another problem that these entrepreneurs and small business owners do is they fall in love with digital marketing. And so it's like, I need to do a launch. No, I need to do social media. No, I need to do TikTok. No, I need to do this. And they never get good at anything because they think it's supposed to work immediately out of the gate, and nothing like that will work immediately out of the gate. So you got to pick a strategy that you're going to be dedicated to, a system that will allow you implement that every single day and look at the analytics and improve, and that will bring you sales. It's not this throw spaghetti at the wall, hope and pray this is the strategy that finally makes it happen for me.
Yeah, it really is the boring things in business that actually bring in the bucks, right? It really is.
We totally agree on that. It's like, I compare it to working out, What I do today, my daily 30-minute workout, is what my health is going to be 3, 6, 9 months from now. Same goes for your business. Those little things you're doing today is what your business is going to look like 3, 6, 9 months from now. It's not like this immediate thing or like, oh, look, I suddenly have abs. It doesn't work that way.
No, I wish it did. P.S.
I
really
know.
do wish it did.
In both cases, actually.
Right, for both, exactly. Absolutely. All right, so for someone that wants to implement the Unlaunch Method, what comes first? Getting the webinar right or getting the audience? Which way are you going?
Basically, you're going to want to start posting on social media. And as you start posting on social media, because you want to get that in a good click going, because that's going to help you reach out to people and have people to actually invite to the invite only event. And the real key, I call it invite only, because you're giving this thing every week. You're not on social media being like, come to my masterclass next week, because everyone will be like, Lindsey's always giving a masterclass. I will catch her next week. What I have found works very effectively for sales is sales starts in the actions even before the masterclass. So you have your hot list of people that you want to reach out to, maybe new social media followers, maybe old sales leads, people you haven't talked to, whatever. You have this list and you start with the reach out. Hey, I'm hosting this event. It's called this. If you want a free ticket, let me know. You don't drop a link, you don't drop the date, but the sales process is not about what happens on that phone call, the sales call. That is one blip in a whole line of actions that take place before and after the sales call to actually get a successful sale. So you start with the invite, then it's intimate, then they feel like they've been invited, then you can see them intimately on Zoom, and then you can invite them to a sales call. And just adding intimacy into the whole process really helps you make more sales.
Love that. So when you're talking intimate, roughly how many people are you getting on a call each week?
Yeah, you really only want about 20. So it has been proven time and again that the more intimate the setting is, like the less people there, people feel more seen, and they feel like they need to turn on their camera, and they feel like they're not just another cog in the wheel. So that's the other thing I love about the Unlaunch method versus a traditional launch is everyone in the audience knows 20 people that they can invite. If you follow my strategy and you actually reach out and invite people, unlike a launch, which gets about a 10% show up rate, you can get over 50% on an Unlaunch method invite only event and book 3 to 4 sales calls off of that when you do it right.
Love it, love it, love it. You were mentioning that you reached out to past people that hadn't worked with you, that you'd been on sales calls with. You're cold DMing new followers? Like, what's that like, that DM method?
Yeah. So as a new follower comes in, so I'm very much into high quality. So we don't batch DM. Like I don't use ManyChat, for example, to send out DMs. But if somebody high quality comes in on social media and I go look at their profile, I say, hey, welcome to the page. I wanted to let you know, this is what I teach. I wanted to let you know I have a free masterclass coming up called this. If you want a free ticket, let me know. Basically, thanks for following me.
Love it.
So it's a system, and it's not, it's a system. And like, I don't have to come up with that message every time, but it works because they're following you because they obviously have a problem and you're just helping them solve it. Yeah,
totally. They're not going to follow if they're not interested, right?
That's right.
So your invite only, how many people are you inviting to get your roughly 20 people each week?
So that depends, but I mean, you want to get 20 RSVPs. So, I mean, you can definitely do that within 40 invites. It depends on like how warm your list is.
Yep.
I always recommend tracking old sales leads. Like even if they didn't close, when you talked to them 3 months ago, inviting them and adding value in a masterclass is a great way to keep top of mind so that when it's time that they can buy from you, that you're always showing up. So honestly, like 40, you should get 20 RSVPs, 10 of those guys will show up or what the stats are.
Yeah, love it. And you're moving those people straight to a call.
Yeah. So the masterclass, the other best thing about the way that we've structured the invite only event is it is not about selling your program and hey, and here's all the video modules included, blah, blah, blah. Cause I don't believe that everybody is a good fit for all of my programs. I just don't want just anyone buying them. I want people that I vet, that I know can be successful with the methodologies that I teach. Plus, if you just throw a program out there, like people will self-select themselves out of it. Like you don't want to be trusting your page. You want to talk to hot leads and hear their concerns and hear their problems. And so, yes, the big pitch at the end, is 7 minutes talking about a high value call that you're going to have with them and what you're going to talk about on the call and how that's going to get them clarity around the problems you discussed in the invite only event.
Love it. For people that have come to your webinar or masterclass or whatever you call it, you're teaching, that don't jump on a call, what's your nurture sequence with those people?
So we keep in touch with them on social media. They're on the email list, so they get a weekly email, but they always get like another invite to another invite only event. Maybe we skip a couple and invite them in 2 or 3 months. Then it becomes a singular lead thing. How hot are they? Should we, because we also launch, speaking of launching, so maybe we invite them to the launch that we do once a quarter or whatever that looks like, but they're definitely getting the weekly emails, but that's just kind of what it looks like. And then we do personal reach out. I'm really big on personal reach out when it comes to sales. And you can put that in a system. It's not like I'm always trying to figure out what to say to these people. There are certain scripts we can send to do touch points with people to see what their mood is right now, basically.
Yeah. So are you inviting them to a workshop that is the same topic? You said that you're doing the same thing so that you can iterate. But 2 months later, are they coming to exactly the same workshop?
Yeah, they can come to the same workshop. Sometimes we'll adjust the name a little bit, but yeah, they'll come to the same workshop because it's like an onion. Like the stuff that I teach, and I'm sure you're the same way, they're in a different place. They're in a different place 2 months from now. The information you gave, they're going to be pulling stuff from that. Plus, when they, I tend to give a lot of energy in my webinars. Like people and my customers feel the same. It's like people will come because they want a reminder. They want like this refresher about, oh yeah, there was clarity there. What was that again? I want to come to this masterclass again.
I want to just shine a light on something you said then, because it happened so quickly that people that are listening may have missed it. You can actually give the same content, but put a different label on it, because your prospects or the people in your world, their problems are always the same. There might be different nuances, but it doesn't change. And I think that people can get really hung up on this, whether it's your webinar or your lead magnet or your content. Oh, I need to create something new. No, you don't, because they've got the same problems. So we talk a lot about it with our lead magnets, with my clients, same thing. It's just, how do you put a new title on it? How do you put just a new cover on it? How do you make it look different? But it's exactly the same content. So I love that.
And that's just good marketing, right? How many times have you seen the same commercial over and over? Like that's what marketers depend on, and that's what we do. So for example, I have my masterclass that I give, but if we're coming up to the fall, which is a really great time to get sales, then we flip the name to be the September sales surge, how to capitalize on the upcoming September thing. But it is also what I teach in December, which is how to get ready for the new year, right? So you can make it timely, and it is like to their own benefit, it is the same information.
Love it so much. Now, actually, I also want to say, for anyone that's listening, that's what Lindsey's talking about. She's got such an awesome podcast called The Millionaire Maker Show. So definitely go and listen to that. Subscribe to that, because everything and all the gold that you're hearing there, she just drops all those value bombs in her podcast too. So go and grab that. But you do have a live event coming up. Can you've talked about live events and the strategy. Can you talk a little bit about what you cover in your live event and how people can register for that?
Yeah. So if you're listening to this, you can head over if you want more of this strategy and you want to know more about what to post on social media, how to host this invite only event, what those topics are supposed to be. Cause like, it's not, you don't want to be showing up to this masterclass just being like, here is some free information and aren't I inspiring? Like, don't you like me? Like, that's not going to sell anything. Like, you have to have a strategy around what you're saying and why you're saying it. I cover that and this prescriptive sales call all on a 5-day workshop. We really dive into it, and you can get access to that by going to the unlaunchmethod.com. I give it all away. I don't really hold back. I think business today, it's tough to run a business, to get customers. I've done it for 20 years, and my goal is just to be like, this is how it's done. It may not be the sexiest, like trending real kind of information, but it does work, and it puts yourself in a system so you can be consistent in your business and have consistent profit and consistent growth. So the unlaunchmethod.com.
And of course, wherever you're listening, whatever platform, just scroll down. The link will be below so you can jump on that. If you're on the treadmill and you can't remember that because you're thinking about just getting the next 20,000 steps in, then just scroll down below and click on that. For someone that's listening, Lindsey, and they're like, oh my goodness, I need something like this that is just, rinsed and repeat, something that I can get really good at and make it, dependable and have those sales coming in. What are the next steps that someone can do as soon as they've listened to this podcast?
Yeah. So don't get in your own way and overthink this thing. Okay. Like action brings clarity all day long. And so people will work on social media or work on this invite only event till the cows come home, and you thinking about it will not bring clarity because you don't really know. Like you cannot see the label from within the jar. So my recommendation is start posting your VEMs on social media, create an invite only event. Like there's podcast episodes where you come to the Unlaunch Method, and put it on the calendar and keep the word to yourself that I am going to give that invite only event, and that will push you to invite people. It'll push you to actually take action and get that clarity that you need through action.
I'm going to add my little takeaway as you were talking. a lot of people come to me and say that they really struggle with how to open up conversations in the DMs. And I think this is a beautiful way of opening up that conversation and saying, hey, look, I've got this free thing. Would you like to come? And I think that that's a really nice way to open up that conversation in the DMs without going, hey, want to buy my thing? You know, like opening up the jack and going, want to buy a watch? Because that's what it feels like a lot of people are doing on social media.
Yeah, it works really well because it really, and the way you name that event, like it should really just speak to them. There's no tech, like you're not putting them in this cog. Like it is me. Hey, it sounds like you have this problem. I'm just here to serve. And it is a really great way to do it. So please use it.
Love it. Lindsey, thank you so much for coming and sharing this method with us today. It's been absolutely fabulous. And I love what you've brought to the conversation. It's just so simple. It is just so simple. Well, that's all I've got for it. Love it.
Thanks, Samantha. That means a lot coming from you. I know that, we are both have passion around these topics. So I really appreciate that. And thanks for having me on the show.
Such a pleasure.